So hi guys, welcome to the channel Learning Competitive Programming with CodeChef. So if you want to learn competitive programming and master data structures and algorithms, this is the prime location for you. Every week there are several videos on various topics of competitive programming and various editorial videos of the latest contents happening on CodeChef. So if you are new to the channel, then please do subscribe the channel and turn on the bell notification. So my name is Chirayu Jain. I am a CodeChef educator. And the problem that we are going to discuss today is chef and meetings with the problem code meet, and the prerequisite of the problem is none. So okay guys, let us understand the problem statement, right? So a time is a string which is in the format of HH, MM and AM, right? So HH stands for hour, MM stands for minute, and AM is anti-meridian, which is before midday. And or it can be HH, MM or PM, which is post meridian. PM stands for which is after the midday, right? And HH and MM represents the hour and the minute. Okay, so these have been given without quotes, where HH and MM are always a two-digit number. Obviously HH and MM will be the two-digit number, right? A day starts at 12 a.m. and ends at 11:59 p.m. It is important, right? So when a day starts, it starts at 12 a.m. and it ends at 11:59 p.m. right? You can refer a typical clock which we use for the Indian time standards, right? And you may refer here, there is a link given and you can see what is a 12-hour clock format if you are not known with this, right? Now chef has scheduled a meeting with his friends at a time P, right? There is a time P given in which chef has scheduled a meeting. He has n friends numbered from 1 to n, right? So here we can see in the example that these are the number of test cases which are involved, right? What are the number of test cases do we have, right? This is for the first test case. This is the time that chef wants to schedule the meeting for. And these are the value of n, which is the number of friends, right? Chef has. Now, for each I, the ith friend is available from the time Li to time Ri, right? So this is the Li time. From this time to this time, this particular friend is available, right? So Li and Ri represents the time duration in which a particular friend is available, both inclusive, right? So this value, this time is also inclusive and this time is also inclusive. For each friend, can you help chef find out if this friend will be available to attend the meeting, right? So we need to help chef to find out that whether this friend is available to attend the meeting which is scheduled at this particular time or not, right? So more formally, check if Li is less than equal to P is less than equal to Ri for each valid I. So basically there is a direct point given over here that what do we need to check? We need to check that if this particular time, which is the time at which the chef is scheduling the meeting, is between Li and Ri, which is both inclusive, right? For each valid I. So what we can do here, we can just manually check over here, right? So for understanding the test case, that this 12:01 a.m. is between 12 a.m. and 11:42 p.m. right? So this is available. So what we need to do, if the particular friend is available, so we need to output 1, right? Now let's see here, 12:01 a.m. and 11:59 a.m. right? So this is the time interval on which the friend is available, right? So this time is inclusive, right? So that means it is available at 12:01. So the meeting is also scheduled at 12:01. So we'll put 1 over here, right? 12:30 a.m. and 12 p.m. This friend is available from 12:30 a.m. but the meeting is at 12:01 a.m. right? So he will not be available, 0, correct? Now the fourth one, that is 11:59 a.m. right? So he is starting at 11:59 a.m. but the meeting is at 12:01 a.m. right? And he will end at 11:59 p.m. right? So 12:01 a.m. does not lie between 11:59 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. So the answer will be 0 over here, right? So for the first test case, the string will be like this, 1100, and that is the output we are getting. Now for the second test case, the meeting is scheduled at 4:12 p.m. right? The first friend is available from 12 a.m. till 11:59 p.m. right, for the whole day. So the output will be 1 here. The friend is available from 1 p.m. to 4:12 p.m. So this time is inclusive, right? Both the times are inclusive. So the meeting is scheduled at 4:12. So he'll be able to attend that. So answer is 1. from 4:12 p.m. to 4:12 p.m. That is for the 4:12 p.m. only, right? And the meeting is scheduled only at 4:12, so he'll be able to attend, right? From 4:12, but here it is a.m. not p.m., right? Till 4:12 a.m., right? So it is in the a.m. That is ante-meridian, not in the post-meridian. So the answer will be 0, right? 12 p.m. till 11:59 p.m. right? So from 12 p.m. till 11:59 p.m. So yes, 4:12 comes in between this particular time interval. So the answer will be 1. So the string that will be formed is 11101. Right, so this is the output here in this particular case. So this is how we are getting the output. This is the theoretical understanding of the problem. And now it's the time to move towards how we can develop the approach and how we can effectively code that approach in C++. So first, what we will do, we'll understand the formulation of the approach of this particular problem. Okay, so let us understand the approach formation for this particular problem. Right, so we need to identify that whether this particular time that is scheduled for a meeting is between the left time and the right time for the particular friend or not, right? For which it is available. Now, what will be the approach for this? So what we can do, rather than just checking that whether this R format is between this on this and using multiple if conditions, what we can do is we can convert all of the time, because we have been mentioned with only the minutes and the hours. So what we can do, we can just standardize the question and convert the hours into minutes, right? So ultimately what will be the end product? We'll having the number of minutes, right? From this minutes to this minutes, this person is available, and this minutes and this particular minute the meeting is scheduled, right? So we'll have this particular order. So what will be the first step? We'll convert the conversion of the time into minutes and checking if the meeting time lies between the given interval or not. So for particular friend I, let us say that it is available from 5:16 a.m. So we have taken an example from 5:16 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. So whether 1 p.m. lies between this time or not. So how we can do this? The idea is to standardize the question to ease our concept, right? To ease, I think we can do in R format as well, but there are multiple if conditions involved in that, right? So what we need to do? We need to effectively think of the approach, and with that, in parallel with that, we need to also think that how we can ease the solution, right? This is the particular thing. So what we can do, we can convert the R format into the minutes only, right? So how we can do this? Let us suppose that this is the time that is given to us, that is 5:16 a.m. right? So first of all, what are the number of hours here? That is 5 hours, right? So we'll convert these 5 hours into minutes. How we can do this is multiplied by 60, right? So 5 into 60 will be 300 minutes, right? So these 5s are contributing 300 minutes, right? And what is the next thing? That is 16 minutes additional is being given, right? So what will be the count for this? There is only 16 minutes, right? So the overall time, starting time of this particular friend would be 316 minutes. So it will be starting for 316 minutes, right? So it will be starting time for this particular friend. Now let's see for 3:30 p.m. right? So this is for the AM, right? Now if this friend is available till 3:30 p.m., then since it is a PM, so what we will do, that there are already 12 hours which are passed, and after 12 hours we have additional 3 hours and then 30 minutes. But before that, because since it is a PM, so additional 12 hours have been passed. We need to take account of that, right? So what are these 12 hours contributing to? These 12 hours are contributing to 720 minutes, right? So what we will do, we'll simply multiply 12 with 60, and that results to 720 minutes. So these 12 hours are resulting to 720 minutes. That is the important thing. And now after that, what we have is 3 hours. So we'll simply convert these 3 hours into minutes. That is 180 minutes. 3 into 60. And after that, what do we have? We have 30 minutes remaining. So we'll add these 30 minutes. So in all, 720 plus 180, that is equals to 900, and then 30. So overall, how many minutes do we have? We have 930 minutes. We have 930 minutes, right? So from 316 minutes till 930 minutes, the friend is ranging, means the friend is available. And now let's see the meeting time. So the meeting time, let's say it has 1 p.m., right? So simply, since it is a PM, what we will do, we'll have an additional factor of 720 minutes attached to it, right? And then since it is 1 hour only, no minutes is there for extra minutes, right? So since it is a 1 hour, so we'll multiply 1 with 60, so that is 60 minutes extra. So 720 plus 60, which results to 780. Now we will check that whether this 780 lies between the interval of 316 minutes and 930 minutes, right? So 780 must be greater than equal to 316 minutes, that is the condition true, and 780 must be less than equal to 930 minutes, that is also true, right? So it lies between this interval, and hence the solution comes that yes, this friend will be available for the meeting, right? So the output will be 1 for this particular condition. So that is the approach, right? Instead of just using multiple if conditions for hours and then minutes and then AM and PM, what we will do, we'll just try to convert the whole time mentioned, whether in LI or RI or the given time for which the meeting is scheduled. We'll try to convert them into minutes and then simply compare whether this particular meeting is between the time interval of the friend or not. So what we can do, how we can approach towards this problem, we'll make the function over it and then we'll call the functions whenever we need to check for the time, right? So we'll make a function which converts this time and checks whether this time is less than equal to this particular time or not, right? So this is the effective approach that we can use instead of using multiple ifs and then checking that conditions, right? So this is the standard approach. And one thing I want to make clear, that you have gone through the approach, right? I have explained the problem statement and then the approach formation. So always try to code this out with your understanding, right? So first you will code this solution and then see how I code for the solution, right? This way your problem solving ability as well as your coding skill will improve, right? You will do multiple errors, then you will look for the solution that how I can get improved on this, right? So this is the step that you should follow. If you are not getting the question, then please see the video, understand the question, look for the approach and then try to code it out, right? And if you are not able to get how to code and you are not able to get the way out of the code, so then you can see my code formation approach and then how I am coding it, right? So this is the standard approach that one should follow, right? So it's your choice how you can go and understand the problem or you can code the solution, right? So it's your choice. Now what we will do, we'll look forward for the code, how we can code this solution effectively in C++. Okay guys, so let us understand the code. So this is the quite cleaner code of this particular problem, right? So let us see step by step that what we are doing, right? So first of all, as mentioned in the input, we'll take the test cases. So first is the input of the test cases that we are taking here, right? So C and T, and for each test cases, what we are doing, we are getting the string that is the time for which the meeting is scheduled, right? So here we are taking two strings, right? Because space is the delimiter between the two strings, that is the time and AM or PM, right? So we are taking two strings, that is S1 and S2, and after taking those two strings, what we will do, we'll add this S2 into S1. That means we'll concatenate string 2 with string 1. So that means that space delimiter is resolved over that particular positions, right? So earlier what we used to have, like for example say 11 AM. So 11 colon 00 space AM. Now it will be 11 colon 00 AM. There is no space. Space act as a delimiter between the two strings, right? So we'll take this. So now in S1, what do we have? We have the time for which the meeting is scheduled. Now for each there are n friends, so we will take the input of n, and for each friend, that is while n minus minus, what we will do, we will input 4 strings. The first 2 strings, that is k11 and k12, denotes the left time, right? And k21 and k22 denotes the right time, right? So these are the 4 strings. Why 4 strings? Because for each time there are 2 strings. One is the time, that is 11 AM, or that is 11 or 12 or 130, 240, that is the time, and the second string is AM or PM, right? So we'll take 4 strings for that, and similarly, since we have done in this particular portion, we'll concatenate the time and the AM or PM, right? So k11 will be added with the particular string, that is k12, which denotes AM PM, and similarly k21 will be concatenated with this particular k22. Right, so in k11 and k21 we have the final timings. Now what I am doing is we are making a compare function. This is a boolean function which returns either true or false, right? So what I am checking is I am passing 2 parameters, that is k11 and s1. So k11 is the left time of the particular friend, and S1 is the time on which the meeting is scheduled. Similarly, I am passing S1 first here and then K to 1. Why I am doing this? This is because I am comparing that this particular time, that is this first parameter, is less than the second parameter. If this is true, that means it is returning true from there. Now, why I am doing this? Because S1 should lie in the interval of K11 and K21. Right? Because S1 is the time on which the meeting is scheduled. So it must be between the left and the right time. Right? So if K11, that is the left time, is less than S1, that is the meeting scheduled time, and S1 is less than K21, that means the meeting schedule time is less than the right time, that means S1 lies, that means the meeting is scheduled between the left and the right time of the particular friend. That means what we will do, will output 1. Right, this is the simple logic. Right, so if this S1 lies between K11 and K21, that means the output is 1, otherwise the output is 0. So this is the important main function that we are writing. So if we have been clear with this main function, then we'll focus on how we are making this compare function, right? So now we'll move towards this compare function. So this is a small code which I have concised, right? All the if conditions, else conditions are concised in this particular 2 lines of code, right? How we can do this, let's see. So first of all, what we will do, we are getting 2 inputs, that is string A and string B, right? So what we need to check, that if this particular A string is less than or equal to B string. So what we have understood in the approach, that we'll convert this time into minutes, right? So there is an important function over here, that is stoi, string to integers, right? So what we can do is we can convert the string to integers directly. We'll pass the string in this particular function and the string is automatically converted to integers. So this is an inbuilt function of C++, so we can use it effectively over here. So how we can do this is, since in the string A we are getting time, so what does this denotes? This denotes that we are taking A dot substr, means substring, from 0 to second position. So what does this show? Let us see here, that if the time is like this, 11:00 a.m. Right, so this is the time over here, 11:00 a.m. right? So this substring will take from the index 0 till 2 indexes. So right, this is the 0th index and this is the first position, and second position will be this. So 2 places from the 0th position will be taken in the substring. So that means 11 will be taken into the substring, right? So this substring will be 11, and now this 11, which is a string, is converted into an integer by this function, that is stoi, right? So 11 is converted into integer. So what we will do, we'll convert hours into minutes. So what we will do, we'll convert this 11 into 11 hours into minutes by multiplying it with 60. So we are done with here, right? Now we are multiplying with one more thing. What that is not a number, that is not a string. We are multiplying it with a condition that will be returning true or false. If it is true, then it will be return 1. And if it is false, it will return 0. So this is an important case over here. So what we are doing here is, if the A dot substring from 0 to 2, that means the same number, the same string, is not equal to 12. So 12. So why we are using this? If this first 2 number is not 12, so what happens if it is 12? So if the number is 12, that means it is at 12 a.m. either, or it is 12 p.m. either, right? So if it is 12 a.m., then how many hours it will be contributing? It will be contributing nothing, because the time is starting from 12:00 a.m., right? So it will be contributing nothing. But if it is 12 p.m., then automatically it will contribute 720 minutes. So for AM it is fine. So if it is AM, then what we will do, if the first 2 numbers is 12, so this condition this condition will hold not true, because it is 12 and it will be 0. That means the contribution of the hour, that is 12 hours, will be 0 if 12 AM is there, because it will be no hours contribution, right? But it is, if it is 12 PM, then it must contribute 720 minutes, right? So for that we are using one extra condition over here. If it is 12 PM, so what we are doing, we are matching. If it is P, that means it is a PM portion, right? So we are matching it with the substring that is 5, 1, right? So we are matching it with the substring that if it is PM. So why 5, 1? Because A or P will be at position 5. So we can refer over here, that is position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this particular position will be 5 for A or P. So we will check that if it is P, right? So automatically we will take 720 minutes, because we need to take anyhow. If it is 1:30 p.m. also, we'll take 720 minutes extra. So we are taking 720 minutes extra over this particular case. So why we will take 720 minutes extra for 12 p.m. over here? So either the case, whether it is 12 a.m. or 12 p.m., if 12 comes, that means we will take 0 minutes over this particular portion. 12 a.m. means that there are 0 minutes. 12 p.m. also means 0 minutes. Why? Because we are taking 720 minutes extra for every given time which is having PM as in the string, right? So this is the important case to understand. Now, what are the remaining things over here? The remaining things over here, we have converted the hours into minutes. Now we are having simply minutes, right? So from the index 3 till the second position. So what is the index 3? 0th index is 1. First index is 1, second index is colon, and the third index is this minute starting, right? So these two positions will be denoting the minutes. So we'll convert these string, that is from the position 3 till 2 numbers we will take, 2 portion we will take, and then we'll convert this string into minutes with the function stoi, and check the and convert this particular string into minutes, and then we'll add these to the number of hours that we are getting. The hours first converted into minutes, and then these minutes will be added to it, right? And the extra factor of 720 minutes is already added if the condition is that at this position 5 there exists a P, that means it is a PM, right? So the extra factor of 720 minutes will be added over here. So this is the one time that we are converting from a given string to the number of minutes, overall minutes, right? So in one statement only we converted the whole string into the number of minutes. So for a string A, we are storing it in the answer 1, and for string B, we are storing it in the answer 2. So now what we need to compare? We need to compare and see that whether the first string, that is string A time, is less than the string B time or not. That is what we are doing in the compare function right here, right? So what we can do? We can return if answer 1 is less than or equal to answer 2. So if this condition is true, it will return true, otherwise it will return false, right? So what we did here, that if answer 1 is less than or equal to answer 2, the output should be true. This condition holds true and it will return true. And if it is this condition returns false, then it will return false over here, right? So that is the importance of this Boolean function over here. And at last, if it is false, we will output 0, right? And if it is true, we'll output 1. And for after each test case, what we need to output? We need to output NL. That is the line change, right? So this is how we are making the code of this particular problem, right? So this is how we are making an effective use of conversion of hours into minutes and writing a cleaner code of this particular problem, right? So now it's the time to practice yourself on this particular problem. And even if you want to grasp such concepts of like knowing more functions in C++, trying out and getting expertise in more of these problems, which are majorly implementation based problems, then you can go to an academy platform, guys. This is the best thing you can do if you want to excel your career in competitive programming. There are top class educators present over there which are teaching you very difficult concepts such as dynamic programming, graph theory, and multiple problem solving on these hard concepts as well as the implementation based problems. So what you can do, just go and download the Unacademy app. Just try to access the free content which is available over there. You can use my coupon code, that is Chirayu Jain, to access the free content, as well as if you want to go for the plus subscription where more additional features will be added and more support will be given to you, then you can do that as well. So go and download the Unacademy app.